Judas Revised, Part 1. Fade in. Montage. Cassandra and Doug dating. Doug brings Cassandra flowers, and she hugs him, smiling. Cassandra and Doug hold hands as they ice skate. Doug falls, and Cassandra falls with him. Cassandra leans her head on Doug's shoulder at church. In montage. Internal church building, day. Cassandra enters sanctuary with a vacuum cleaner. She sweeps up and down each row through the empty aisles. Cassandra finishes. She unplugs the vacuum, wraps it up, and walks out of the sanctuary. Dan runs into her in the hallway. Dan. Cassandra, can I talk to you? Is this a good time? Cassandra. No, not really. I have to go. Dan. It's about you and Doug. Cassandra stops and looks back at him. She puts the vacuum back in the closet and closes the door. She turns to Dan and raises an eyebrow. Dan continued. Alright, I have some disturbing news. Pause. And it concerns you. Cassandra. Dan, just spit it out for Christ's sake. Puts hand over mouth. Crap, forgot I was in church. Dan shakes his head amused. Cassandra continued. Okay, what's going on? Am I in trouble? Is this about that night Doug and I walked home the other night? I swear nothing happened. Dan, he's cheating on you. Cassandra crosses her arms and puts her hand to her mouth. Cassandra shakes her head in disbelief and sits down on a nearby chair. Cassandra, I don't believe you. Cassandra stands and strikes Dan in the chest, and Dan grabs her wrists and holds her still. He looks straight into her eyes. Dan, I promise I am telling the truth. We found out he has been meeting up with another woman these last few weeks when he said he was doing serving projects. Pause. And he was seen kissing her on campus. Dan lets go of her and sits down next to her. Dan continued. He's been living a double life, Cass. It's been going on for a while. I'm so sorry. Her breathing becomes short. She puts her hands over her face and begins to shake. Dan wraps his arm around her, and she cries. External apartment building, night. Cassandra walks up the stairs of an apartment building. Internal apartment building, night. Doug sits on his couch watching TV with the girl on the couch, both laughing at the reality TV show playing. Cassandra knocks on the door. Doug pauses TV and approaches door. He looks out peephole. Doug, voiceover. Crap. Doug, to girl quietly. Hey, Jane, I need to talk to someone. Can you wait in the back? I'll be done in a few. Jane nods her head, suspicious. He kisses her forehead and smiles. She walks to the bedroom and shuts door. Doug takes a deep breath as Cassandra knocks again. Doug opens it mid-knock. Cassandra calmly walks in. Doug continued. Hello to you too, babe. Cassandra turns on him. Cassandra. Babe? Babe? Really? Just like that. Must roll off your tongue a bit too easy. Cassandra paces across the living room and puts hands over ears and grunts. Doug closes the door, walks to her, and wraps his arms around her. Cassandra shrugs them off and stomps to the other side of the room. What's got you in a mood? Doug. Cassandra, you have the nerve to ask me that? Doug. I'm slightly confused. Cassandra stops pacing and faces Doug directly, pointing a finger right at his nose. Cassandra. Don't play dumb with me. I've known you since college. You can't lie to me, though you sure have tried. Doug motions to speak and Cassandra cuts him off. Cassandra continued. No, you wait. Dan came up and talked to me today. You've been lying to my face for weeks now about what you've been doing at night. I thought you were working with the youth group on serving projects. He told me that you've been with another girl? Voice breaks. I don't understand. Doug is silent and slowly sits down on the couch, avoiding eye contact. Cassandra continued. Well, do you have anything to say for yourself? Pause. Is this even true? Doug is silent. Cassandra continued, yelling. I can't believe it. You're not even defending yourself. God, you must be more guilty than I even know about. What's next? You were sleeping with these girls behind my back, too? Doug stands up and slaps Cassandra. Cassandra steps back and holds her hand over her face. She begins to cry and turns away from him. Cassandra continued, quietly. We're over, Doug. We're over. Live your double life. I don't care. Cassandra turns and walks straight past Doug and out the door. Doug looks at his hand and shakes it off. Doug sits back on the couch and turns back up the TV. Jane comes out of the bedroom. Doug smiles. She grimaces. She approaches Doug, slaps him, and storms out of the apartment. Part 2 to follow.